what's up, everybody? I'm Alex Warren, and welcome to Locked In, the show where we investigate the truth behind the clickbait. Once my guest steps into the studio, we set the timer to 60 minutes, lock the door, and throw away the key. The only way out is when the timer hits 0. On this episode, we're locking in the Talabi Twins.
Yes.
Ooh. Welcome.
Hey. Thank you.
It's exciting.
We're so happy to be here.
I know.
And just so you guys know, this is Sarah's voice.
I'm Leah.
I don't know if that helped.
I was about to ask
sound
that.
Exactly the same.
You guys, so I know a lot of identical twins. You guys are very much, like, you guys look very much alike.
It's weird that you say that because I literally, ever since, like, you know, we were little, I always felt like we didn't look alike.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but I just didn't feel that way.
Yeah,
I
I think
sense.
twins know, like, we don't think we look anything alike at all, but we do think alike.
We do think of really a lot alike.
Well, that's amazing. So a lot of this is going to be like my favorite thing when I have, whether it's a couple or a group of two, which is again a fucking couple. I don't know why I said it like that.
We are.
I like to have it when there's two people to kind of like split them up, and especially with twins, I think it's very easy to kind of be like when people have you on as a guest of something, they wrap you in together, and
Yes.
I don't like that because I think that both of you would have your own personalities, and I think
100%.
that's sometimes it could be demeaning.
Yeah.
But that being said, we're gonna have a little time together, so I can ask you a few things. I mean, first of all, do you have friends like that like can't tell you apart still?
Absolutely.
My own parents can't tell us
Our
apart.
parents mix up our names all the time. My grandma, she mixes up our names so much.
Someone will call her, but I know they're calling me.
Yes.
And they mean to call me, but they're calling her name, and I just come. It's like
Right.
it's just a sixth sense.
So
It's
exactly.
weird.
So if mom's like, Leah, get up, but like she's like motioning like in my like direction, like
Sure.
I just get up. You know, it's like
Oh my
I
goodness.
I respond to her name as well. It's kind of a twin thing. You just got to deal with it.
Is there like something for you guys? Like what would you tell someone if they can't tell you apart? Like what's for you like the easiest way?
Oh, I would say good luck. Spend more time with us, and maybe you'll get to see our personalities
Yeah.
shine through.
We're really alike, so it kind of is hard. You kind of just have to spend a lot of
Spend
time
a lot
with
of
us,
time
I
with
feel
us. I
like.
think. Yeah.
How is that? Is that something that's like do you guys like live together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Do
we
you-
probably
Have to.
always will. Like we could
I know it
live
sounds weird,
separately, but like we live
I
together.
want one of those houses that are like split in half, and like
Yeah.
you live on the left and I live on the right.
Yeah. No,
I-
we're like that close. Like we're always in perfect sync. It's just how
Well,
it
that
is.
must be nice though.
Yeah.
Can it get annoying sometimes at all? Like do you guys fight sometimes?
Yeah,
Sometimes I think it's more we're the only two people on the planet that understand what it's like to be us. So
That's a
it's
really
just
great
way
way of putting it.
Yeah, so it's way more of like, you know, it's just we're way closer than anything else
Sure.
because we've been through the same experiences, literally lived life
Like, day
the
one, she
same.
was there.
Yeah, day one, like lived
I
through
love
the
that.
exact same experiences. So it's like this is the only other person on the planet that knows what it's like to really be me. So
That's very cool.
Mhm.
I've never heard that, but it makes sense.
yeah.
Built-in bestie.
What's going on with the shirts?
Yes.
I wanted
So
to ask
we
about
have
that.
to,
Yes.
they say don't stop asking me about my personal life. Ask me about climate change.
Oh, I
And
love that.
We actually have this shirt and we have 5 other designs, slogans, quotes, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be raising money for the Environmental Defense Fund, which is a nonprofit that raises money to just implement initiatives to mitigate climate change as well as just protect the environment as a whole. So they're doing a lot of amazing work. And I just wanted to be, we want to
our
be involved,
part.
do our part, be involved in any way
That's
that
beautiful.
I can. There was a lot of like demand for shirts and different types of like
Yeah.
quotes and stuff. So I was like, you know, I definitely wanted to step up and, you know, do what I could, just play my small part.
I
So
love that. Well, a big part of this show is we typically talk about some deep topics or
oh yeah.
sometimes politics or sometimes even just stuff about like kind of, you know, you as a person that can sometimes be a little uncomfortable to talk about. So I like to make things very, I like to add a fun element to get yourself like into the whole
Right.
mind trick of it. So I make crimes for you guys. And so by the end of it, I decide if you are guilty of these crimes.
All right.
And so your guys' crime is cyberbullying Greta Thunberg to be the leading voice in climate activism. So
Okay.
by the end of it, I'll decide whether or not you guys are guilty of that. I'm judge and jury today.
Yes, that
Awesome.
sounds good.
Amazing.
Let's-
And on that note, I'm going to start with Sarah. So Leah, I'm going to have you go outside. And I said that right, yes?
Yes. you got
Thank
it right.
God. I can never tell.
Oh, that's amazing. On the first try, you knew who was who?
Yes.
Oh
Fuck
my
yes.
gosh, you are so
Okay,
talented.
perfect. Thank you. I think so too. So if you want to go in the other room, you are fully going to be watching this. If you want to come up with questions, I have a document in there, and there's a bunch of people in the other room coming up with questions for me. So you get to be a part of this and come up with questions for your sister.
Okay, let's go.
So I'll see you later. So, Sarah. Hey.
Hi.
How's it feel so far? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm just excited. I think I'm really grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, just bring some attention to some important topics. I feel like that's my job. I feel like that's like my purpose in life. So anytime I get to do that is great.
I think you guys are the first guest I think I've ever, in my social media career, I've ever like kind of talked about like pretty serious stuff. So like serious stuff in like the sense of like the world.
The world. Yeah.
So it's nice. I'm excited. I'm stoked. I saw a lot of your guys' posts. So it's something where I think that it is you may be nervous or excited. I'm very excited. So it's gonna be
Me
fun.
too.
So, I mean, the first thing, we were talking about this a little off camera, but it's something that there's been a lot of media attention and stuff with you this last few weeks. And if you want to just kind of give everyone, including myself, some insight, just because I don't know the full story either.
Yeah, well, I think it's so important. First of all, I'm a big, it's so important to me to amplify marginalized voices and, raise awareness of humanitarian crisis, but also, speak up when I see something that's wrong. I'm not one of those people that can just kind of turn a blind eye. And for me, I'm extremely sensitive. I'm a very, very sensitive person, and I feel things like 10 times more intensely than everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good thing and a bad thing. But lately, I've been dealing with a lot of cyberbullying, and it's something that I just felt like I needed to speak on, because it's not new for me. Mm-hmm. I went through an experience of cyberbullying in high school, and it was really extremely traumatic. There was a group of girls that would just cyberbully me all the time online, and I never had the guts or the confidence to stand up to them. And it's still one of the most traumatic things I've ever been through. And, the second most traumatic experience after that, was a couple weeks ago when this gossip account called Dumois, they actually, I don't know who's behind it. It's a faceless gossip account.
It's
and
like
they
TikTok room for the TikTokers.
Yeah, and they went out of the way to actually make a podcast episode about me. And she doesn't know me, but she made an entire podcast episode about trying to make me out to be this horrible person, essentially. She just talked about me. She said a bunch of untrue things about my character. Mm-hmm. She basically was slandering me and just trying to turn the internet against me. And it was right after she had posted a picture of me at Coachella, and A-list actor was in the picture. And the next day, she made this podcast episode, just explosive episode, trying to essentially like defame my character. And it was really hard because, first of all, it's creepy when you don't know who's actually talking behind this account. But it was really hard because after she said that, I got like thousands of hate messages, like thousands of just these hateful messages from people who were just angered by what like she had said about me and my character. And then I eventually, some people were actually threatening my life. Like I was actually getting death threats. And I just, like the world stopped for me. Like I couldn't believe that people could be so cruel. I mean, maybe I was a little naive, but I just thought that everybody was nice until they had good reason to be otherwise. And I had to learn the hard way that wasn't true. It was really, really hard. And I mean, I was like crying for days, to be honest. Like I could not get it together, and I didn't want to leave my house. And I just was like having panic attacks, and then they got more and more frequent. It was really like the most exhausting and dark space I've ever been in. And like things just kept getting worse, because then a few weeks later, I found an AirTag in my gym bag, and someone was using this little AirTag device to actually track me. And so it was one thing to like be getting death threats online, but I didn't think people would actually, or someone would actually go to the lengths of trying to track me. And basically, I was at the gym, and I go to the gym every day. I was there for like 4 hours. I had put my bag down like I always do. And I didn't realize anything was wrong until I got home, and I got this notification on my phone, and it said like, unknown accessory detected. This item has been with you for a while. Yeah. And I like opened up my gym bag and I found this little, like it was like a quarter-sized device. And I didn't even know what AirTags were. So I looked it up and I found out they're supposed to be used to track lost luggage, but people are exploiting these devices and using them to actually track people. I just completely broke down. I was like, oh my God, like someone is actually tracking me. Like I called my mom right away. I was like, what do I do? Like I threw it away, but I just was so like, just mentally like paranoid. Like I still am like paranoid. I'm still working through it. And I just had like extreme paranoia from the whole thing. And it just kept mounting and mounting. But I just think I really realized like, cyberbullying is a real problem. And I think that if cyberbullying left physical wounds, we would take it so much more seriously. And it's concerning to me that it's not taken seriously. And I also feel extremely, just honestly makes me question my faith in humanity when I see things like a gossip account that just posts like pictures of people taken far away in their personal life and essentially glamorizing stalking. And just glamorizing like stalking celebrities. Like I feel like, celebrities are people too, and they deserve their own private space and just posting pictures of them that they don't know about and that they, taken far away and like revealing their location. Like that's so dangerous, like to reveal somebody's location. There's people that if they know a celebrity's location, they will go there and try to harm them. Like it's extremely dangerous to be revealing celebrities' location. And I had never heard of this page until she posted me, and I couldn't believe that this Dumas was like actually, no one saw anything wrong with it. And I think it speaks a lot to where we are as a society. But I don't know, I just wanted to just kind of raise awareness of cyberbullying and hopefully just show that it's something that we need to really do something about. Like we can't stay quiet about it. So.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I think I'm sorry that has happened to you.
Rambling
I think that's something where we have, I think everyone in this space, including myself, I've experienced somewhat of a lot of that. I think for a long time I'd have hundreds of people sitting outside of my house. I mean, especially I think at one point I had 500 people sitting outside of my house.
It's insane.
It's crazy. I agree with you in some points of that, but I don't know what the solution would be. Like, what do you think? Like, because cyberbullying, I think, is a huge issue, and I think before social media and social media stars, it was something that I think people started taking extremely serious because people were like taking their lives because of it.
Yeah.
And I think now it's become a part of the job, sadly.
Yes, exactly.
But like, is there, in your opinion, like a solution to that? Because it seems to be that sadly, it seems it's kind of like an accessory to essentially fame or stardom.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel like the sooner we are to accept it and say it's part of the job, the more prevalent it will become. And the truth is, it's really actually not something exclusive to people with a platform. It is a huge problem in every single high school in America, and I'm sure around the world. I experienced it first in high school. That was where I had some of the toughest cyberbullying experience of my life. So I think that even more us who do have a platform or just, celebrities should actually speak on it and raise awareness of the dangers of cyberbullying because they're really setting an example. And if we accept it and say that it's okay and it's just part of our job, then who's to say a high schooler is going to say, well, it's just part of going to high school. It's part of just being a student. I attend public high school and I have to let these girls cyberbully me.
Yeah.
I think that, we set the standard, we set the, we as in everybody, like we decide what we're going to tolerate, what we're not, and all of us are setting the course and the direction for the future of our society and for the world. And I think that we should never settle or accept things that are just wrong.
So let's just say, and this is just for the sake of kind of understanding, and I agree with you on everything, by the way. It's something where it's like, let's say we raise awareness, and everyone knows that cyberbullying is a bad thing. And it's like, this is something that no one will stand for. How do you stop it?
Well, I think that it's really important, first and foremost, to share your own experience. Mm-hmm. And I think that, human connection is so important, and people really, our own personal stories really can move people more than a cyberbullying poster or more than the facts. I mean, there's insane facts. Like people, like millions of young people are like committing suicide because of cyberbullying. But I feel like sharing our own stories is so strong and motivating and moving. And I think that if we are vulnerable with sharing our own experiences with cyberbullying, and that's everybody, you know, however big or small your platform is,
Sure.
I think that that will bring about change. And yeah, I think it just starts with like being vulnerable and open about cyberbullying and your experience, because there's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of I've gone through the extreme effects and toll that cyberbullying takes on your mental health. Where like I've gone through like severe depression from it, and you know, anxiety and like stress and paranoia. Like I've been through the full spectrum of emotions, and like I said, I feel everything 10 times more intensely than everyone else does. So it's been very hard for me. But there's a lot of people, a lot of young people that don't even know it's okay to vocalize these emotions and aren't even being like I said, not speaking up when they're experiencing cyberbullying. I didn't when I was in high school. I didn't say anything, and I definitely was struggling mentally from it, but I still didn't say anything. And so I think that it starts, and it will I have hope that it will stop, and that we actually can turn this around and can make a difference. But it's going to start with us being open and vulnerable and telling our stories, and also being open and honest about the mental toll that cyberbullying takes as well.
I have another question.
Sure.
How do you differentiate cyberbullying to, like, let's say, you know, there's popular YouTubers who like make videos reacting to like other people's videos where they kind of like, I won't say shit on, but kind of like, you know, like the Cody Co's, where it's like, it's very much like their entire content and it's viewed as comedy, where it's like kind of like, you know, you react to something and they don't really agree with it and they voice their opinion. Would that, like, how do you differentiate? Maybe is that considered cyberbullying, or is it how is
Sure.
it?
That's a really good question.
I think because that to me is like a line where it's like, I'm not sure what is and what isn't, because like some people, like, you know, the subjects of those videos. I mean, I've been a subject of several of those videos. How is it? What differentiates comedy and content opposed to, let's say, cyberbullying?
Actual cyberbullying. No, that's a great
like,
question.
Would you put in like Cody Ko and those guys, and let's just say like Jeff Wittick and like those type of content like into that same like cyberbullying, or is that more of just like a content driven comedy thing?
Well, I don't know who those people are, but
really?
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like
I
the
know
reaction
type of
videos.
content.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking about.
100%.
And I would say that cyberbullying is when, so, you know, there's a lot of content on the internet and obviously social media nowadays. Like, you know, there's a lot of like jokes and stuff, but I think that cyberbullying is when you say something and the person reacts and says, this is bothering me, it's not okay, and you keep creating that type of content and you keep with that narrative.
Sure.
That's cyberbullying. So if, you know, these people are making these videos and, you know, and the person's like, it's just a joke, it's not bothering me, then it's fine. Then it is just comedy content. But the problem, I think it becomes cyberbullying when we, you know, it's bothersome to the person, the subject, and they let you know and you keep going. And that's what happened to me with this Dumas account. I actually did reach out to her and I said, look, I'm getting death threats from this stuff that you're saying on your podcast about me. Like, I don't know why you're, you know, just spreading a bunch of lies about my character. Like, please stop. You know, I know maybe it's for views or whatever, but like there's a real, you know, I'm a real human with feelings, and I'm, you know, people are actually threatening my life. Please stop. And she actually didn't. She made another podcast episode like 3 weeks later about the same thing and making fun of me, mocking me, all the above, trying to just make it seem like I was the most horrible person, essentially, was what she was trying to do with her platform. And so I think that's cyberbullying. You know, I vocalized that I wasn't okay with it, that something was wrong, and she, you know, kept bullying me. And I think that's what cyberbullying is. But that's the differentiation when the person that you're talking about is bothered by it and you keep going, that's cyberbullying.
Is there a difference to you between cyberbullying and, let's just say, getting hate on social media?
I think getting hate is a form of cyberbullying. Like getting hate and hate comments and all of that is a form of cyberbullying. I mean, it's crazy like what people said, and like I said, I just can't believe sometimes that people can be so cruel without knowing someone or knowing anything, and that they just feel like it's okay because they're behind an anonymous account or even just behind, you know, the screen of social media. Like people say so many things they would never say to your face.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that that's become normal. I think that's a really scary normal.
Is there, I think the one thing that I'm struggling with is like the accountability thing. I think that a lot of times I think I value a fan base holding their creator accountable, or like maybe a creator's holding someone accountable, and sometimes it gets lost in the hate. And I think a lot of times like cancel culture is fucking stupid as itself because it doesn't do anything, but except for like maybe make someone want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times there is a powerful message in there and it's being shoved behind because so many people just love to see someone kind of get wrecked on the internet.
Exactly.
And I think I see where you're coming from, and I want to believe that that's possible. It's really difficult for me too because I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and it's like there's people who want to hold their favorite creators accountable, and there's some people who just don't fucking like the creator and want to hold them accountable. And then there's just like it gets lost in the whole thing of like then someone
Just
starts
negativity.
attacking your character. To me, cyberbullying is something where you are purposely going out of your way to demean their character and attacking them, the things about them that maybe aren't terrible. It's like where I see not a hate comment, but like I truly believe in holding a creator accountable. I think that if someone fucked up in the sense of moral and also in, let's just say, legal, I think it's nice to see, not nice, but like it's something nice to see that like someone is actually gonna hold them accountable and not like promote the fact that they are doing something bad. But when it comes down to attacking someone's character and then seeing them in real life and then completely berating them and calling them names and calling them slurs and telling them to kill themselves, that's like the part of social media where, you know, that is terrible. I also think that has something to do with the parents raising those kids.
Yeah.
And I also think that's something that's like, you know, I find it so hard to get rid of it. Like it's such an ambitious thing of you to want to. It's
intertwined with first of all social media.
Yes.
And I think social media is fueled by it.
But I don't think it's just social media either. I think like
our society.
Even like, and keep in mind, I view us as like social media stars or social media creators, but like, in no means do I find myself famous, and I feel like you find the same thing as well. But it's like even like Justin Bieber, like those like people like that. Like it's been ever since the dawn of fame. It's been something where it's like this person is fucking up. They're held on a pedestal. Let's fucking go get them.
Exactly.
And so this is generations of things that have happened, and now it's just like way easier for everyone to do it. Where like before, like you had to like be a press article or you had to be a journalist, and now it's like you can be a 6-year-old with an iPad.
Exactly.
And so it's like I love the idea of getting rid of cyberbullying, but I also have no fucking idea how that is even like possible in this day of age right now, especially with everything going on in life. But fuck, I love that. I love that idea.
You know what? I will keep fighting for that idea, even if it sounds like a utopia that's not achievable in our lifetime. Maybe in 5 lifetimes it will be. And if I can be a part of that movement,
that's beautiful,
and believing in it, then I will be.
110%.
Yeah.
What, and so industry wise, and I think this is more something personal to you. How did you and your sister get started? Because it seems to be like, did you guys start off being like, you know, we care about the world, this is something we want to do and like promote these things, or did it kind of, you guys had a niche that you kind of got big off of, and then you're like, you know, we want to promote the things we care about? Like how did you build your following? Yeah,
no, that's like one of my favorite questions, is to talk about like how we got motivated and inspired to like create the content that we do. And it really started because we're Nigerian. My mom is from Nigeria, and we lived in Nigeria from ages 3 to 7. And the culture there is so different from Western culture. And in Nigeria, we're taught to have a very close relationship with the earth and with people, and kindness is a big part of the culture. And it's a very like humble culture and close-knit. And so for us, it was like transferring from that culture over to going to school in the States and in Western culture, and everything was so different. And Western culture, it's so exploitative and neglectful of the environment, and also very cold and very like personal, like very, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe capitalist is the right word, but it's just different. And so we wanted to kind of like implement the values that we learned in our culture into our work and our content. And so that's why we started our nonprofit. Like that's the whole like reason behind it, is like is taking the values and the respect for the environment that we learned in Nigeria and how the African culture approaches the environment, and kind of like implementing it into our nonprofit, and creating like, you know, education and infographics about that, and kind of sharing it with our generation, because there's not a lot about those subjects available to like Gen Z and to like, you know, younger people. So that's definitely like the driving force behind a lot of what we do and a lot of the content that we create. And of course, we love fashion as well, and we were creating a lot of fashion content and across the board. But yeah, it was really just our passion for like Nigerian culture and what we learned that like fuels all of our content and helped us to like stay original and authentic in what we're doing.
That's awesome. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Why did you move here in the beginning?
My mom is Nigerian and my dad is Italian American. So he lives in Detroit and, my dad was here. So my mom, we moved over here and after coming back from Nigeria, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and it was so different. It was like very, very different Western culture. So like, and a lot of stuff still shocks me. Like I still sometimes feel like an alien in this culture and society, and a lot of stuff's really different.
Wow. I can say I've never been to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Is it beautiful?
But yeah, no, it's actually really nice. And a lot of people don't know, but it's a very prosperous country. It is not like the pictures that you usually see of Africa. And that's something else I really want people to know is like Africa is a beautiful, prosperous, wealthy country that's innovative in their world-class universities and top research centers and scientific centers. Like they're amazing. It's amazing. And it is not the picture that people think of this. Obviously there's a lot of poverty, but it's not just that. Africans are innovators and they are incredible entrepreneurs and business people, and they're doing amazing things there. And Nigeria is beautiful, and I highly suggest everyone goes. They have nice beaches, and my grandparents live in Lagos, Nigeria, which is the capital, and it's nice. It's amazing. So
I gotta go.
Yeah, you have to go, definitely.
What was it like making the move from Detroit to LA? Like, why is it? Because of social media? What was like? Do you live here?
Well, actually, my whole family moved over here. It's. I definitely love the more opportunity here, and people are a lot more open-minded here. It is really a lot. Fits really well with my character. I think just being here in LA. I love LA. I love. The beaches are my favorite. I like every weekend I'm at every single beach all down the coast. I pretty much live at the beach. But yeah, it's amazing to be here. And I think that it's definitely if you can utilize this, like LA itself is a platform. The city itself is a platform. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to make change from LA. Everything in this city is amplified to the world. It's one of the most influential cities. And so being here, it's very inspiring because I feel like I can make a bigger difference than I could ever make in Detroit. And it's true. And so I think that's my favorite part of being here.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to have your sister come in now.
Sure.
How exciting. What up?
Our next guest.
What's up?
Welcome.
I've been
Calvin?
arrested.
Give me a 360. Can I have it? God, I'd love to start my day like that.
There you go.
Awesome.
Making you feel better?
Yeah, I feel great.
Listen up.
Keep those handcuffs. Welcome.
Hey.
You were watching the other room?
I was watching.
How was that?
It's just cool. I like it. Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. I'd love to ask you some personal questions, but if you want to talk about other stuff too, I'd love that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. Okay. So, have you guys always been bonded as twins? Like from birth, you guys were always inseparable, or is that something where it's like very much like kind of you grew into?
Yeah, I definitely think we grew into it. I mean, there was a point in high school where like I was just trying to find myself.
Yeah.
And she was trying to find herself. And I think we drifted apart for a little bit. And then after graduation, we just grew so close together. And that's when we like moved into it with each other. And we just grew really close together with our ideas and goals. And ever since then, we've just been like that's like my left arm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this girl is my bestie. Like she thinks the same things that I'm thinking. And we're like one. Like I feel like I'm like one with her.
Yeah. What's your personal goal in your career? Like, is it something where you guys both want the same thing? Is it kind of like walk me through that, like where you see yourselves really in the next few years?
I definitely think just helping people, definitely spreading awareness on activism is just so important. Like, I don't want to go through life and feel like, well, what did I contribute? Like at the end of my life, like what did I do to help people? Did I live for myself or did I live for other people? And I want to go through my life and be like, you know what? Like I got to help all these people. I saved these person's lives and help them, whatever way I can help someone, even if it's just putting a smile on someone's face. I want to say, you know what? I made someone's day. over just saying like, oh, what did I do for myself or what did I gain for myself? Not that I don't think that, taking care of yourself is important. I just think it's also important to help other people and just not like live your life for yourself.
That's beautiful.
In a way.
I like that. Did you guys ever like kind of like a question I always ask twins because I find it very like interesting. Like how's dating in LA?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, please.
Dating's the worst. I mean,
if you don't mind.
Honestly, something funny? We actually wanted to play a joke. I mean, we're twins, okay?
Sure.
So, like, why not play a joke? And I was talking to a guy in the past, and I didn't know how I felt about him. And I just like, Sarah, like, can you go on a date with this guy? Okay.
Oh,
can you be me? And he hadn't known me that long, so I knew that he wasn't going to be able to, like, tell us apart.
Sure.
So I'm like, Sarah, just be me. I mean, we already wear the same clothes pretty much, so just go and check out this guy for me. Say you're Leah. This is his name. Like, we've only been talking for a little bit, and check the guy out for me. So she goes and checks the guy out, and he literally could not tell her apart. Like, he literally thought he was talking to me. He was calling her Leah. He just thought he was talking to me. And she honestly, like, the guy was, like, weird. Like, he creeped her out. Like, I don't know why, but she just was like, Leah, he creeped me out. Like, he's a no-go. And I was like, you know what? Like, you are me. We are one. I trust you. And I just kind of ghosted him. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
I know. But honestly, like, and then I found out he was talking to someone else after, so it was a good ghost.
Yeah.
It was a reason for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Those are like clothes. Do you guys just shop the same place, like same size, everything?
Honestly, like, we used to steal each other's clothes a lot,
Yeah.
and I was like, well,
You
actually,
guys were wearing the same thing today, yeah?
yeah, we were the same thing. It's
Okay.
not even to like try to trick people. Like, we literally used to fight over each other's clothes. And my mom was like, you know what? She tried to buy up like clothes that would tell each other apart. Like, you wear pink, you wear blue growing up. And we would fight over each other's clothes. So my mom goes, you know what? I'm just buying you guys the same stuff. And ever since then, we just buy the same clothes so we don't have to fight. And it works out.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So we talked earlier that me and Sarah talked earlier about kind of like the controversy in a way, or kind of like the hate that she was getting. Do you also get wrapped into that as well, or is that something where it's like, is it kind of like a joint thing where like you both get it, or is it more of like if she gets it, you're fine, or like how to like I'm trying to think exactly like, is it then like, let's just say Sarah does, or let's just say you do something and you get hate on social media for it. Do people mix you guys up? Like, does it? Like, how does that work?
Oh, yeah, no, like, I get it too. And it's more people thinking I'm her.
Got it.
So they're like, oh, you did this. What's wrong with you? Or la, la, la. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, we're different people. I don't think cyberbullying's okay in general, but make sure you're going for the right person. If you're gonna like cyberbully someone, cyberbully the right person at least. Not that I condone cyberbullying, because I don't. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I love that.
Cyberbully the right person.
No, 100%. I think honestly, it's something that we touched on it so much, and I think the whole dynamic between you two is very interesting to me. I think it's something where it's beautiful because I feel like you'll never be alone.
Yeah.
But like also there's part of me and like I'd be kind of like, for me, if I was in a twin thing, is like, are you scared that eventually over time you guys might be like being together for that long and like doing all these things? Do you think you might be like hindering each other sometimes? Like, I feel like I'm phrasing that wrong, but essentially, like, let's just say like eventually you may want to do something else. Do you feel like, are you scared you're going to hurt her feelings? Or like it's the same thing with Sarah, obviously. If Sarah wants to do something else and like are you guys like scared it might hurt the dynamic? It's kind of like a boy band type of vibe. Like
like One Direction. And then we just go our own way, but we're still like, we can collab on the same song or something. So it's cool. But I mean, yeah, sometimes I feel like, will we ever grow apart and what's going to happen? But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just getting one of those big houses, splitting in half. You go on the left, you go on the right type of thing. But I just always hope to be close to her, no matter where we go or what happens. Like, I just want to be near her because in high school, again, we drifted apart and it was like I felt so alone. And now that I have her, like, I don't like being alone. I know a lot of people like their space, but like, I just don't like being alone.
Fucking love my space.
Are you an only sibling?
No, I got 3 others.
Okay, oh, you have 3?
Yeah.
Might be it.
Yeah, it's just something where like I'm always surrounded by people, and I love being around people, and I hate being alone too. But like, I've been around so many people for so long that when I finally have my alone time for like that nice hour of just hanging out with my dogs, I'm just like, well, technically I'm not alone.
Yeah, but that's
then.
like, you're not alone, and it's only for like
You're
an
right,
hour. You
you're
know,
right.
if you lived alone, you'd feel. I get creeped out at night. I'm like, is someone under my bed? Like, what's going on? I hear a crack downstairs. Like, I just don't like living alone. Like, I don't know if I'm like paranoid or whatever, but like I just like having someone with me, especially someone I can trust and feels like family.
Yeah.
It's different if it's like your friend, like, oh, my friend's sleeping over, like you still feel like, okay, like I've had a couple days with you, I need some space now.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't feel that with her, like
100%.
you know.
How is it like when you have a boyfriend, or like when, like, I think there's two questions in this that I'm really interested by. When you are looking for a guy, are you looking for the same interests as you in like maybe the activism, or maybe just like in the climate in the world and stuff like that? Is it a turnoff when they don't have the same views as you, or just don't really care? Like, I would love to like know exactly what it goes into, like maybe you spending time with someone that isn't your sister.
I honestly feel like it's about the person. Like,
Right.
I don't care about looks. I don't care what you do or don't do. Like, how many followers you have, how many followers you don't. Like, none of that matters to me. It's honestly just about the person and who they are and, like, what are their beliefs. Like, what are your goals in life? Like, I definitely want to just, like, be able to connect and, like, vibe with you. And, like, it doesn't matter about anything else. It's more just about, like, your soul.
That makes sense, 100%. And then, like, when you have a boyfriend, or I'm sorry if I'm being a little too forward here, but when you have a boyfriend, or when she has a boyfriend, how is that, like, with the dynamic? Are they kind of like, oh, if you like always around? Are you always around your sister? Like, kind of like, how does that work?
Yeah, I guess when the
Because
time would come.
I'm getting the impression you guys are very close.
Yeah, we are very close. And I guess when the time would come, I would be the third wheel. I'd be like, let's go on a movie dates together. Let's do this together type of thing, because that's just how I am. But yeah, I definitely think that, you know, I just tag along, like, you know, don't leave me behind.
100%. How old are you guys?
We're both 22.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm 21.
Okay.
So I get it. I understand. It's something where it's like I'm in like almost a 4-year relationship with my girlfriend, and pretty much married. But it's like it's something where it's like, you know, I think that with me, like, I'm very close. Like, Calvin in there, I grew up with him. It's been like 7 years, practically brothers. He helped me through a lot of things that I went through, and it's kind of like, for that, like, it's very, you know, I'm attached to them by the hip. They go everywhere I go everywhere they go, type of vibe. But also, it's kind of like me and my girlfriend also have our alone time too. So something was like, I was so curious because you guys are very, 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 very close. And so it's like something that, I don't know, maybe it's just more experience when you get to that point where it's like, maybe you meet someone you really care about. Like, maybe like that's when it's like, I don't know, I'm very interested by your life. It's so cool.
But okay, so I grew up with her since the day I was born. She came out first, then me. So
she came out first?
She's the first twin. Can you tell? She's like the leader twin. I'm just like the other twin. You can probably tell.
Maybe? I don't know. I'm not thinking that deep into it. I think honestly, like, it's something that I'm very curious, because I love that you guys have the same beliefs, and I love that you guys have very much like a very similar personality. I do get the impression from her that she's kind of the leader. Like,
She's
kind of
the
like
leader twin.
Was she the one who, like, when you guys went to social media, she was like, you know, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
cool.
just like, you go, girl. I'm
Yeah.
like, you go, girl.
I'll support you in everything you do.
I'll support you. I do have my say, but like, I just feel like sometimes, like, I was kind of the follower twin. Like, I don't know, growing up, I was kind of insecure, and she was just so like, she's just so like strong-minded and knows what she wants, and I love her for that. And sometimes I just feel like she knows best. Like, I was kind of like the troublemaker. I was the black sheep kind of in the family, and she was like
That's how I was.
the normal sheep. My parents were like, Leah, you be like Sarah. Like, Leah, you do this. Like, and she was born first, so maybe like it's kind of like they think she's like the first child, even though we're the same age, a couple minutes apart. Like, but growing up, like, I just kind of felt like, you know, if she was doing it, it must be right. So. And
do you think, like, and pardon me for getting a little personal here, do you think that's somehow could essentially, like, do you see yourself kind of like eventually making more decisions for essentially yourself in the future, of like, kind of like, it seems to be like, not saying you're a follower or anything, but it's kind of like the way I'm interpreting this is kind of like for this time is like you're doing everything with her, and you're supporting her in every way, but it seems to be like maybe you're kind of maybe want to figure out essentially we're all figuring out everything we're doing in life. Right. That's even a dumb question, but like, kind of like, I don't know, what are your goals? Like, 'cause I know it's like, you know, you care about these things that like truly like change the world, and that's beautiful. But like, for yourself, like, what is your goal for yourself? Like, where do you want to see, like, in 3 years, like, job wise or career wise or goal wise, or like, are you trying to be like an activist professionally as a job, or is it like, do you want to be a singer? Do you want to be like,
I don't sing. You don't want to hear me sing.
I think that's where I'm getting at. It's kind of like, I would love to know personally more about like kind of what you want to do in life, where you see like the family, the white picket fence, or is it the condominium with the connecting door to your sister's home?
Honestly, like, you know, after graduating, I kind of just started figuring out my own path, and that's when we kind of started growing close, because we realized like we actually had the same goals, like not even because we were twins, like we really just had the same goals. And we just started like collaborating just together, and then we moved in together, and we were just being our own like powerhouse, being together, like you're stronger together than you are alone type of thing.
100%.
And ever since then, like our goals have always just been aligned. I mean, I guess in the future, if they weren't aligned, we would just do our own thing, but still be close. But like, I just like, can't see that day coming. I mean, maybe it is. I don't want to jinx it.
So like a politician or like?
Oh no, I mean, like I'm no politician, but we model, so we do like modeling. But yeah, definitely just the activism. I want to travel more and go to different countries and, you know, help other people in different countries and stuff like that. But
yeah, I had Adam W on here. He has a thing where he builds schools in Bali.
Oh, that's so cool.
And like they kind of
that's
like
awesome.
they build themselves in a way of like, you know, he builds a school in Bali, and then like he has someone there who like teaches them the stuff, and then like 3 people out of that group of 20 who are taught then go back to that house or the new house or the new school that he builds, and they teach those next people. So it's like a full circle of like, you're never really having to find people to teach things, because it's like you teach 20 people, and then 3 people from there go to the different schools and teach those people, and then it's kind of like he keeps building schools and people
like
keep
domino
learning to teach.
effect.
Yeah.
That's
So it's beautiful.
cool.
But it's like something where it's like, I think really, I think I'm just being narrow-minded in a way, because for me, it seems to be that you guys, I mean, this entire time you talked about activism and what you care about, and less about modeling. And I'm trying to see like more essentially what you would do as a professional career in that. And if it is a professional career, because I'm very like, I wouldn't say I'm narrow-minded or ignorant, but it's more of like, I'm not very familiar with the monetization of that. Or is it like a social media thing where you're just going to be an activist on social media and you make the money off the brand deals and stuff like that? It's kind of like, I think it's very me trying to tiptoe around that general question.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely just think that there's so much you can do with activism that people don't know about, like starting a nonprofit, which we do have, foundations.
Oh, or writing a book.
Writing a book. I have a book.
There you go.
I have a book.
You
I
have
didn't
a book?
even talk about that. Yes.
Girl,
I
talk
have
about your book.
A book.
Come on
And
now.
it's more of like a pamphlet book where we actually talk about other people who have really gone on a mission to spread eco-friendly activism, and just showcasing it almost in a pamphlet, like their quotes and what they have to say about it, and making like a whole book on it. And I just think that it's just so important to, and I hope to make more books in the future. Then like, this was just our first book. It's more of like a pamphlet book, but the link's in my bio. But besides that, it's in the bio. I just think it's important to showcase, you know, that there's other people in activism, in eco-friendly activism, that are standing up, they're making a change, they're using their voices, and I almost wanted to like give recognition to them, and I
kind of like this podcast.
Kind of like this podcast, yes. And put like their quotes into a book, and it's going to be coming out in August, so
cool.
You guys can check that out. But I just definitely think that writing books is really cool. We've always had like a thing for writing in high school. Like I was never good at math. Like I hated math. Like don't put me in math classes. Like I'm terrible at it. But when it came to like English and writing, I always just kind of had a passion there, and now I have a book.
It's beautiful. So what is like for you guys, you obviously are very knowledgeable about the things that you preach. How do you learn this information? Like where are you learning this from? Like where are you seeing all this like you know, all these like, you know, the things you care about, like climate change and maybe cyberbullying and all these things that you are activating or
activating.
What's the word?
Creating. I mean, we create these ideas and things. And
where do you learn?
We grew up in Africa, so a lot of it was like our own personal experience. But I did, you know, do some research online because I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. But I think it's important to share your own like opinion and what you've gone through and like why you feel this way about something. It's like, well, why do you feel this way? Like, what does it mean to you? And so, you know, growing up in Africa really changed a lot of things and gave us a different perspective on life.
So
and
you're
like
all
the
firsthand.
Yeah, and the vibe with there was just so different. I hope more people can travel and just experience things in the world. I just feel like if you stay so enclosed in a place and you never travel, like you're going to be small-minded. Not like I'm saying you're going to be like, I just feel like you're naturally just not going to know. How do you know something that you've never been to or whatever? You know, experiencing it is different than just seeing it online.
No, that 100% makes sense. I think that's something that, like, you know, I'm always curious, like, because I learn a lot, like, on social media. It's just funny enough to say that that's what it does. But, like, I fact check a lot of the things I learn. And I think, like, for me, it's very, like, before moving here, like, I'm from Carlsbad, which is a very, like, you know, beach city, but everyone there is a certain way and what they believe in and kind of like that. And when I moved to LA, you know, you get put into like, you know, there's people from all over the world here.
Yes.
And so I learned a lot of things that I was very like, you know, brought up to be very much like, oh, you know, like this is that and this is that. And then I I don't know. It's so cool because for me, I found more of myself. And I think that like I grew up and I kind of like, I am very proud of the person I became. And I'm also still learning. So it's something that's really cool. And I feel like, you and I are both very young. I mean, Sarah too. Like we're 21, 22. I'm about to be 22 in like a few months. And it's something that, we're still learning a lot of things about ourselves and life. And I use this all the time. I'm still growing up, but I'm just growing up publicly. So like, every one of my mistakes is going to be broadcasted to everyone.
Oh gosh.
But it's something cool. And I'm genuinely really, really excited.
Yeah. I mean, I'm turning 23 December 26th, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm hard on myself because I'm like, I'm 22 years old. Like I should be doing more. I should be out there doing more. And sometimes I just feel old. Like I know we're young, but I feel like I should be more accomplished for my age. And I feel like I have so much potential that I want to do and give back and help more people. And I'm always, just hard on myself. Like what more could I have done? Like how can I help more people type of thing? And I'm like, I'm turning 23. Like, oh my gosh, like that's old, I guess. I feel like it's old.
Not old.
I'm just hard on myself.
Do you feel like there's an added pressure in the public eye?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, you see other people who are just doing all this big stuff and they'll be like 18 or 20 and you're just kind of like, like I'm over here like 22, 23 almost. Like, what more can I do? Like, but at the end of the day, like, I just have to like tell myself like everyone has their own journey and like you are there for a reason and like, you're going through life learning something else that person might not be learning. So you just have to like accept it and like know that that's part of your journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Are you religious? Are you guys religious?
Yeah, we are. I'm Christian, so I do put God first, and that's why I have a lot of faith in things. Like, people tell us we're crazy. We come up with all these ideas, and people are like, you guys are crazy. That's never going to happen. But I just live on faith, not on, like, sight.
No, yeah. I grew up Christian, and I grew up Catholic, actually. My dad passed away when I was young, and he, like, wanted us to, like, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated, and, like, kind of, like, wanted faith to, or, like, kind of raise us in a way. And it's something that like kind of like I am who I am because of it. I've kind of fallen out of it a little bit just because like real life things have happened to me where it's kind of hard to believe that someone above me is like kind of moving things around for me. But I do believe everything happens for a reason. So it's constantly like kind of like a battle between my head. But it's something that, it's something beautiful. It teaches you, even if let's just say on the off chance that there's nothing in the ether and there's no one above us, it teaches you amazing morals and something beautiful where it's like, you treat people the way you want to be treated.
It gives you purpose, I feel like.
Not even just purpose, but it's also like, you're raised on the same standards of Christianity. Like literally all the fucking things tell you is like literally be nice to people, and treat people with kindness, like, don't do bad things.
We learn that
it's like
growing up.
You grow, it's the same thing. You're just learning that someone else is like in charge of it or the government. So it's it's very much like, it makes sense to me just to raise my kids that way, whether or not like something is like that. But that's my own little thing. And just like that went by so fucking fast.
Was it an hour?
No, it's been roughly about 50 minutes, and I want to bring in your sister and have like a final sit down.
All right, let's go for it.
Let me just make a text real quick. Oh. Welcome back.
Great, you did amazing.
Bye, Calvin.
Twin is back.
No, how you guys doing? Okay, this is good.
Yes.
What were you expecting when you came into this?
I had no expectations.
Yeah, I go through life with no expectations.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know, I'm going to talk and it's going to be great. And
I'm going to lay down the table.
Yeah.
Love it.
Just going to be honest and open. So.
I think final questions, and honestly just kind of like making this more of like a, like kind of like, I've asked you both questions, and I think it's something where it's like, your bond is really cool. I don't know how to explain it. You guys are very close, and I love it so much. I think the only thing is like, do you ever see yourself eventually like you talk about how you're eventually gonna just like be together forever?
Yes, we're gonna be together forever and live happily ever after. Totally.
Do you guys see it where it's like, do you guys see yourself like working together forever as well? Where it's like you are, like, because it seems to be you guys are partners in this. In my personal interpretation of this, it's kind of like you guys both have the same beliefs and you have very like hard hitting, amazing things that you care about.
Yeah.
Do you see it just kind of like flourishing into this huge multi-business that you guys are going to both own, and like you're going to live together and you guys are going to just never be, you guys are going to be inseparable? Or do you see that as a bad thing?
BFFs. Actually, yeah. No, we have a lot of, business goals. And I think that one of them is to own our own production company. We already have our own nonprofit, so we want to expand expand that, hopefully to become a multi-country nonprofit with
Claiming it
locations
now.
around the
Yeah.
country, and also, continuing with our modeling career. It's great that we're able to do a lot of twin campaigns, and that's something we offer that's really unique to fashion clients. And so continuing to do more twin campaigns will be great. And yeah, I mean, 100% definitely building out an incredible, hopefully very effective, nonprofit and mission together. And continuing to grow it and hopefully become more worldwide.
And be like neighbors and like yell out our window and be like, "What's up, Sarah?" And she's like, "What's up, Leah?" I want
neighbors,
that
we're going to be
life.
living together for
I could see you guys
Yeah,
literally
we'll see.
buying land and fucking somewhere and like literally just having two houses next to each other and then
Yeah.
a bridge crossing over to that house.
Gosh, that'd be so cool. Like a
Yeah.
tree
No,
house.
seriously, I would tell my friends, I was homeless a few years ago, and my friends, Calvin included, literally would like take care of me, and it was something where it was like, when I win the lottery, and I to this day still play the lottery, and I go, when I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy a neighborhood, and all of everyone who helped me is gonna get a house,
my gosh.
and we're
that's
gonna gate off the
amazing.
neighborhood, and then we're gonna literally build bridges across and like make a
Oh
whole
my
fort.
Connected. That's
love
amazing.
that.
Yeah, so I
Everyone
just
should
wanted
have
to
a
share that
dream,
with
and
you,
I
so you
think
guys could have
that's
that as well.
I think
Good
we'll take
idea.
that on.
Yes.
So I think another thing is you guys have very strong beliefs in certain things
Mm-hmm.
that typically can be controversial.
Yeah.
What is for you guys? Do you still see yourself learning, growing, and do you still see that as something of like that, or do you kind of feel like you've kind of made up your mind on where you're at?
I think that approaching everything with an open mind is so important, and we always have an open mind and are always learning and growing. But when it comes to climate change, for example, like the facts are there. It's not controversial when you look at the science.
Sure.
It's real and it's a
We got
threat,
facts. We
and
got
it's
receipts.
and it's only growing, and the results of climate change as it continues to escalate and go unanswered. These questions go unanswered. It's only gonna grow and just be worse for the environment and for humanity as a whole. So I think that I have a good understanding of where we are right now when it comes to climate change and where we're going if we don't take action now. But at the same time, I have a very open mind, and I have a lot of hope that we can turn things around. And it's tough, but I have a lot of hope that we can restore like the planet back to its original space where we're going to be able to just preserve the future of humanity. Like that's
Sure.
the most important thing. So.
This is stuff I don't really like kind of input into my own life. It's kind of like for me, politics scare me, but also
It's
like
okay.
climate change and stuff is just very much like, I don't know why. It's like,
It's scary.
People feel like it's like not their problem. Type
no. I believe, I mean, the world tends to be my problem. It's not necessarily like not my problem. I think more of the lines is like, I have had a world filled with trauma. And so to think of all the bad in life is something that's like, I have you guys for. And something where it's like I kind of just try and find the good out of a lot of things. And I think in politics, but also in the world and the state of the world as it is, it's very fucking scary. But it's
Yeah.
also
kind of don't want to face it.
yeah, but it's also like there's a lot of not great things happening in the world right now. I mean, this last fucking 2 weeks, the mass shootings and everything happening, and like, you know. It's something where it's like the only good thing that's happened in the world in the last week is, in my opinion, Johnny Depp, but we won't get into that. But no, it's just something. It's like I genuinely kind of like stray away from because it's like my life's difficult as it is. But
Difficult
I
as
feel
is, yes.
but got your book. No, where's your inspiration? Like, where do you guys find like kind of like obviously you have Africa, and that's something that I've like. Based on our conversation, you've been inspired by the culture that you were raised in.
Definitely.
That's beautiful. But like people wise, like what inspires you? Like kind of to do this and to live by this.
Yeah, well, for me, it's not as depressing as the climate crisis is.
Sure.
I actually draw hope from it, and I think that I can inject hope into the climate, action movement. And so I think that for me, it's actually extremely. For my own mental health, I think I would have to be a part of contributing to saving the world.
Right.
I can't go through life knowing that I didn't do anything, and that so for me it's a source of actually hope and joy to be able to know that I'm making a difference, hopefully making a difference. And I see it as the exact opposite. I think that facing head on the world's issues is the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for our mental health, and a huge source of joy and happiness if we are able to, know that we made the tiniest bit of difference. So it's
beautiful.
She's got it all. See,
Ditto for you.
Same here. You see, you can just hit
Ditto.
retweet.
Same. Retweet. 100%. How do you stay optimistic about the world? Because you said you have hope.
Food.
Yeah, no.
Food.
Right. Makes me happy. Food is the go-to.
No, definitely. Like it's. I think that staying optimistic, it's hard, and it's not always about staying optimistic because I don't a lot of times. I have hope, but I'm not always optimistic because when you look at the reality, it's extremely depressing and sad, and there's so much that we need to address. But I think that my hope overrides any fear or just any fear that I have. Like, I feel like my natural response to seeing something bad, like I said, I'm very sensitive, so where I can't just like turn a blind eye. Like, I think that my natural response is to want to contribute to seeing if I can do anything to help when I see things that are going on in the world. And so whether it's even just posting on my Instagram or like, I'll put my Instagram caption, I'll post like a selfie and put my Instagram caption about, climate change or some action people can take. And I put links on my Instagram stories every single day. And I try to, link everything and just use my platform as much as I can. I think that's my way of like, I get optimism from knowing I'm part of the solution.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I even stay sane, is to just know I'm part of the solution. I'm trying to contribute. I'm using my platform in any way that I can. And that's why I approach everything the way that I do. Because it's like, if someone passes me the mic, I'm going to use it to, contribute something positive to the world. So no matter what people ask me, my question is going to be something that will hopefully contribute to humanity, because I just feel like I would be wasted space if I wasn't.
Got it.
So
that's amazing. On that note, I'm going to come to my verdict. I don't think you guys are guilty of cyberbullying Greta Thunberg. I'm not taking murder off the table,
love
but
her. She's amazing. I admire her so much.
Maybe you guys are going to have like a house together, and maybe you build bridges to that.
Exactly.
But yeah, based on our cyberbullying conversation, I don't think you're capable of it.
Okay, cool.
And that being said, I think that before we completely lock you guys out, if you want to look at any of the cameras, there's fucking 3 of them, and say whatever you'd like. Whatever you want to promote, whatever message you want to convey, go for it.
I think my message would just be to, first of all, spread kindness and love. It sounds cliche, but it's so important. And also for all of us to kind of reflect and on how we can be a part of answering the climate crisis, because we all can contribute in some way, whether that's just raising awareness or sharing a post or picking up trash at the beach. I do that all the time.
Putting stuff in the recycling bin.
Yeah, no, we can all play a part, and all of our parts matter, because for such a huge and cataclysmic issue like climate change, it's really going to take all of us to mitigate and to overcome it. It's going to take every single one of us. So everything that each of us does really does matter and make a difference. And I hope that people know that what they do does make a difference. Yeah.
And on that moment, we're officially locked out.